Overtime!
All right, as you can tell, I'm in my truck. I'm about to go pick up a game. I know how popular these pickup videos are, but you know, as a channel that's not monetized, these things can be a bit expensive to produce. But anyway, as I've mentioned before, I do a fair amount of traveling for work. I drive whenever I can, and whenever I'm going somewhere, I like to check out Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist in the local area just to expand my search radius for deals. So this game is one that I've seen, posted for a while. The listing's been up for several weeks, maybe a month. Interesting, a good price. Definitely not anything that was on my radar. It wasn't on my wish list or the list of games that I wanted or that I was looking for, but it's a little bit, historically interesting. A great price. But 4 or 5 hours away from where I live, so not something that was interesting enough to make me want to make a round trip just for this game. But I had a work trip that was taking me through the area. So yesterday, on a whim, I kind of reached out to the seller. Like I said, I know this listing had been up for a while, so I told him, hey, look, I'm going to be passing through your way tomorrow meaning today, and totally okay, no worries if you're not interested. But if you need the space, I'd be happy to take this off your hands for such and such amount, but no worries either way. So seller responded actually pretty quickly, and after a little bit of back and forth, he accepted my offer, which is a great deal. He is going to keep the marquee, I guess, for an artwork collection or something like that, which is fine. We'll have to figure that out. But so I'm about to head out. I pulled over to shoot this video. This game's definitely a little bit different from what I normally go towards or gravitate towards. It's a black and white vector, a working vector, great deal for a working vector. It was made by a manufacturer that I have no experience with. I've never had a machine made by this company. So it should be something a little bit interesting. And why don't we head out on the road and go pick this thing up? All right, we're all loaded up and ready to go. I didn't want to film inside the seller's house, but we did plug it in. It is working. It's not that tall, but super heavy particle board cabinet. But I tried to pull the monitor out and it's not going anywhere. I'm not entirely sure actually how to remove the monitor from this machine. I did pull the boards, stuck them in a anti-static bag for safekeeping, and we're all bundled up with stretch wrap and moving blankets and tarps and ratchet straps and bungees and everything to hold it down. It shouldn't rain, but just in case it does, we'll be protected. This thing's nice and dry. I'd like to keep it that way. And a working vector monitor, working vector game. Almost a miracle, sound and everything. So why don't we hit the road and get this thing home? And I made it home safely, but my wife seems to have parked in my spot. So I'm just gonna unload it out here, drag it into the garage, and once I get it in there, we'll tear into it. Okay, we're off the truck and in the garage. And are you ready to see what game this is? It's actually, what is it, the next day or the day after? I've been busy. And I've got, 45 minutes or an hour before I'm going to jump on a arcade roundtable with Dell from Delusionals Arcade and others. But I want to see if I can get this thing working. So without further ado, here we go. Voila! Is it voila or voila? I don't know. What do you think? Can you tell what it is? Huh, maybe, maybe not with the marquee missing. How about from the How about from the bezel on the control panel? How about from the coin door, which says Cinematronics? So yeah, I've never owned a Cinematronics game before. I know the side art will give it away, so here we go. It is Armor Attack. That's right, Armor Attack. A black and white vector game by Cinematronics. It says right here, copyright 1980. And yeah, check it out. So down here in the corner, we've got this corner piece sort of blown out, but I actually have the piece that was busted out of the particle board. The T-molding was actually holding it in. Yeah, side art on this side looks pretty good. A little bit, chewed up there in the corner. Obviously, the marquee is missing. We've got, a bezel and then an overlay. So this is a black and white vector game, no color, and it uses this overlay on the screen to sort of draw a city or a bit of a maze. Again, side art on this side, a little bit chewed up here, but not too bad. The game's kind of dirty. We'll have to clean it up. On the back here, we've got a back door, but it's really just the shrink wrap holding it intact. Let's see here, Cinematronics FCC notice. We've got a serial number that's actually handwritten. It says model number VBS-5, serial number 804406. And it's got a tag here from Betson Industries, control number 3465. I can't really make out much of anything else. So yeah, and like I said, this was working at the seller's house. So I want to see if I can get everything back together and working again. So let me cut this out of the shrink wrap. Yeah, is this what you were guessing? Like I said, this definitely was not on my wish list, but I got a great deal on a working vector game. So this is now the second vector game that I own. My first black and white machine. My first Cinematronics cabinet. So, and yeah, I played a game or two at the seller's house. It's a pretty basic game. Controls are a little bit like Asteroids. There's a button for left and right. There's a thrust button and a fire button, and you're basically a Jeep driving around a city or a ruined city, and you're shooting tanks and helicopters, and all you have is a Jeep. So put this over here, and why don't we? Actually, I'll just spin the cabinet around. Ooh, static electricity. Come around back here, and the whole thing is made of particle board, but it seems pretty dry, so I'm excited about that. Another thing about Armor Attack is that it's a two-player simultaneous game, which is kind of cool, especially with my kids having games where there's multiplayer simultaneous is definitely a bonus. So here we are on the inside. Speaker up top. This is the little spider friend. Here's the interlock switch. Coming down, we have the Cinematronics vector monitor. There's a couple different versions of these. I am not super familiar with them. I've never worked on them before. Hopefully I don't need to do much here, although it looks like there's few, if any, caps on the monitor chassis. We've got an HV section in this box here. So, yeah, I don't know what these orange things are. Interesting. They look like they go to ground. So, okay. A couple of chips. And what's that? That looks like is that a radiation symbol. Interesting. Yeah, so coming down here, it is missing the coin box, no big deal. I kind of tucked in a lot of these wires just so they weren't flying around, and I zip tied the power cord to the side here so that nothing was banging into the monitor. I tried removing the monitor and was unsuccessful. There are 4 carriage bolts that sort of connect the cabinet to the monitor to the sides, but I really couldn't see how to like slide this thing out, and then there's some brackets here. I don't know. So yeah, I always like to remove the monitor if possible. It makes the cabinet lighter and easier to transport and safer, but alas, I wasn't able to figure it out. The game PCB goes here. I've got it safe and sound tucked away, and then we have the isolation transformer and the power supply right here that looks pretty simple. We've got a switch between 230 volts and 115 for like US versus Europe, I'm guessing. Nice that there's almost like a little pinout reading right there, and over on the other side, if you can see it. Giant filter caps or whatever those are right there, and I don't know what those. Let's see. Yeah, I think those are pots. I don't know what those control. Like I said, I really don't know anything about this game. I see a wire nut here. I don't know if this is original or hacked or what, but the game looks pretty clean. You know, it's had a little bit of water in the base, but pretty solid. No complaints. So why don't we see if we can get this thing back together. All right. So I guess the first thing I want to do, whoa, that's not it. First thing I want to do is we cut that power cord loose. And like I said, I just zip tied it for safekeeping during transport. So I didn't want to risk it flopping around and damaging the monitor or anything. And let me see if I can do this without nicking a wire. I can't really see. There's not enough light right there. So sorry if my head's going to get in the way momentarily. Here we go. This piece of junk flashlight doesn't want to turn off. It's been that way for a while. Okay, so let's get this out of here. That kind of goes like that. All right. Yeah, this game is pretty unmolested. So I'm guessing this ribbon cable is the video signal. And we've got some Molex connectors here. I believe this one is like that. What's funny is not all of the pins line up. It's fine. These two went to the game PCB, as did this red. Oh, you probably can't even see what I'm doing. Sorry about that. So yeah, this gray ribbon cable is the video signal. This right here. This Molex connector goes power, I'm assuming, for the monitor chassis. We've got 2 Molex connectors that go to the game PCB, and this red, what is this for? Is this maybe the control panel input, this red ribbon cable? And then one of these, maybe this is the speaker, and maybe this one is the or coin door, control panel. Maybe this is control panel, coin door, and speaker maybe? I'm just guessing. I haven't looked at a schematic. And I don't know why, but I'm a little bit nervous about just plugging this thing in and turning it on. Like I said, it's a vector, and one of the rules with owning vectors is Never mess with a working vector game. Don't move it, don't touch it, don't do anything, because you're going to screw it up. So yeah, let me grab the game boards. So I put them in an anti-static bag, and then put that inside of a cardboard box just to keep it safe during transport. And then, you know, sitting in my garage, I don't want my kids throwing a football or basketball or something into the garage and hitting it. So here's the board right here, taking it out of the anti-static bag, and it is mounted on a metal plate, so that's kind of cool. And how was this? I think it went in like this. Okay. See if I can do this. And there's a ground strap that connects over here. Okay. It goes like this. Whoa! I forget we're on a dolly. So I think I've got the screw right here somewhere. And it's got this sort of square bit head. Let me see if I can find something to put into my screwdriver for that. There we go. And of course, my screwdriver that I really like is in my truck, and the keys are in the house. So I'm just going to go old school here. I think this just goes in like this. Yeah, okay. So this serves the purpose of grounding the boards, or grounding the metal plate to this ground strap, and securing the plate to the cabinet. So that's nice and secure, won't go anywhere. Is that a test point or something? So yeah, I think what I want to do is let me plug in everything except the monitor, right? And see if the game plays blind. Okay, does that sound like a reasonable thing to do? So I've got, let's see, does this go here? Oh boy. All right, I believe this goes here. Could it possibly spin around and go like this? Oh my goodness. And where does this one go? Oh, but these things aren't like, can you see what I'm talking about? There isn't like a polarity on them. Oh, let me see if I can get a little bit closer for you to see what's going on here. Oh, goodness gracious. Is there any kind of indication? Yeah, okay. I believe it's telling me that it goes on like this. And then this one goes with that facing down, and the wires are kind of bent that way. And hopefully there aren't any cinematronix experts out there screaming, saying, "No, Charlie, that's not how it goes. That's not how it goes." And this, I guess, goes like this. All right. Oh. So hopefully I've got this thing plugged in the right way. And why don't I power this on? I don't think there's an actual power switch. And I think I read about that. So I guess I just pull the interlock. We've got life. Do you hear that? Maybe the sound might be a little bit low. Do you hear that? It plays a Morse code. And I believe that Morse code message, or that message is Morse code for don't register. I guess, I don't know what the story is. Maybe the programmers didn't like the fact that they were forced to build a war game, a war-themed video game. So that, yeah, that Morse code message, like I said, I believe is don't register, as in do not register for the draft. Okay, marquee light is on. Looks great, actually. Coin door lights are on. Nothing on the screen because we don't have it connected. Yeah, so this game has a subtle message telling you to commit a felony. I believe failure to register for the Selective Service, and otherwise known as the draft, is actually a felony in the United States. And so this game has a bit of a Easter egg with that Morse code message telling players not to register for the draft. I guess, like I said, as a form of protest. You know, this game was made in 1980, so Vietnam War was still living memory. So maybe the programmers didn't like that. You know, we're trying to have an anti-war message or something. So one more cool piece of ephemera that I got from the seller is this original final inspection report. So this is dated June 26, 1981. So I guess this unit was built in 1981, inspected by Rick B. and C. Post, maybe. Serial number matches 804406. Cinematronics Armor Attack Final Inspection Report. And so everything has gone through and been checked and signed off. And there's a customer copy. So I'm going to leave this in the bottom of the cabinet for now. Or maybe I'll put it where the coin box will eventually go. So why don't we do this? Why don't we turn it off, unplug it, connect the monitor, cross our fingers, and hopefully have a game. So this connection is keyed, so there's only one way for this Molex connector to go on. And I guess what I was saying was the game PCB does have some printing that kind of indicates the polarity, but you know, it's better when it's keyed a certain way so that you can't, there's no way for you to plug it in except for the correct way. There's no way that this would go like this, right? Yeah, this is just how it goes. Okay. Okay, let's turn this thing around. And we'll take a look at how we're going to position the tripod. Let's see. Is that going to be a good angle? Maybe. All right. And you know what's funny is, here, maybe I should go on this side. Player 1 on the control panel is actually on the right side, and player 2 is on the left, which is definitely atypical, right? Usually player 1's on the left, and player 2 is on the right. So let's cross our fingers. Well, first I need to get closer to the outlet. So we're going to move everything around a little bit. Let's turn off the heater because the garage is not that hot. We'll reposition the camera here. I'm going to turn off the house lights. And pull the interlock switch, cross our fingers that nothing explodes, and we've got a fully working vector game. Game board's still working. Let's see if we get something on the monitor. There we go. Can you see it? Yeah! All right. Look at that. But without the house lights on, you can't actually see the overlay. So that's interesting, and I wonder if there's supposed to be some sort of lighting inside here. Let's see if I can position this so that the glare is minimized. Let's do that maybe. Really shouldn't, well, that didn't help. Anyway, sorry about the glare. There's not much I can do. Otherwise you won't be able to see the overlay. Let's coin up and play a game real quick. Here's the right coin switch and left one. I really can't access actually. Oh, there we go. So we got 2 credits on. There we go. Oh, the button's messed up. So we got left, right, forward, and fire. So left, right, forward, fire. There we go. Oh! I forgot. After you blow up a tank, it can still actually fire briefly until it explodes. Oh! Helicopter got me. All right, we got a score of 280. Everything looks good. It needs to be clean for sure. Oh, they got me. So working game. The vectors look pretty good. We got a little bit of jitter down here in the corner. That looks blurry, but it could just be dirty. Oh, helicopter got me again. And let's see, 2 Jeeps left. So I guess this is set for 5 lives per credit. Fleeing through the city. There we go. Cleared the board. Ooh, fortunately I'm a lot more maneuverable in my Jeep than the tanks are. And you don't get hurt by crashing into... Oh, they got me. Mission completed. I guess that's game over. I scored 10,040 points. You see that right there. 10,040 points. So yeah, definitely needs to be cleaned inside and out. It's not too bad though. The cabinet's actually in great shape, really, except for this corner. And like I said, I've got the missing piece right here. Now this is a vinyl, so we'll figure out some way to safely reattach it. Monitor's working, everything's working. We're just missing a marquee. And I don't think these are particularly easy to come across. You know what? Hang on a second. Come with me. Come with me. Let's go over here. You know what? I've been thinking, where the heck am I going to get an armor attack marquee from? And you know, I actually keep a bunch of stuff in storage under my pinball machines, including a stack of marquees. So I've collected these from a bunch of different places. I think a lot of these came from DJ DNS, the same guy I got my Tempest and my my Centipede from. A lot of them are hanging up on my wall, sort of, you know, behind the pinball machines and actually over the Donkey Kong Jr. cocktail. And none of these are really in great shape. They're mostly, you know, they're imperfect. They've got damage, cracks, chips, whatever. Really not great for going on a cabinet, mostly for artwork. And over the years, I've sold some. I've given some away. So if you see any in here that you need, you can see this. So Section Z from Capcom, Street Fighter II Champion Edition, a cut down ER Kung Fu, Tetris, but this is just a printing, I think. And look at that. Look at that. Armor Attack. I'll hold it up to the light. This is got a crack in the corner, and a lot of the black is missing. But maybe we can repair that. But certainly better than nothing. Let's see what else is here. Superbike. I have 2 of these actually. Some punching game, boxing game. I don't know. Mania Challenge, Mega Zone, Crazy Bowl, 10-Yard Fight, Twin Eagle 2, Sky Shark, Caveman Ninja, G-Lock. Yeah, if you need any of these, let me know. Happy to send it your way. But let's get this out to the garage and see what this looks like on the Armor Attack cabinet. All right, I grabbed my screwdriver out of the truck. And I really do like this thing. And you know, that's the square bit also. So let me grab the square bit driver. See, I really do like this screwdriver. And I get lots of compliments. It's cheap, it charges with USB. It's not very strong, which you don't want. You don't want to damage stuff. You know, for really heavy stuff, I got my cordless drill. And yeah, I always people always ask me where I got it from. And you know, I've got, you know, in the description of every video, I've got links to, oh, this is interesting. The bottom is like pushed in. In the description of every video, I've got links to all of the tools and parts I use in every video, every project, everything. So you can always find it there. You know, I think he actually must have removed the bottom. Like I said, the seller wanted to keep the marquee as art, which was fine. I mean, I would have liked to have had a higher quality one, but this will do the job. The chip in the corner is actually covered up by the bracket, which is nice. And now we can put the top bracket on. And assuming it still works, we'll have a complete, fully working vector arcade game. And again, I got this for a smoking great deal. Lots of people on Clav were looking at this thing and saying, oh, if only it was closer, I'd be all over this. I think it was Geach or somebody pinged me. He was like, Charlie, why haven't you gotten this? And I'm like, well, one, it's 5 hours away from where I live, right? He said, it's right next to you. I'm like, yeah, it's a state away, which, you know, in some parts of the country means right next door. In other parts, you know, not. And you know, like this wasn't on my list, but you know, I was in the area opportunistically and worked out an even better deal with the seller. So let's do this. Game is plugged in. The marquee is on, or the marquee has been reattached to the game. And let's take a look, and hopefully everything still works. Yeah, it's so weird that there's no power switch. It's just the interlock. There we go. The game is working. marquee light has come on. And, you know, it looks a little battle damaged, but that actually kind of fits the theme a little bit, right? It's a war theme game set in a ruined city. So the fact that this marquee has some battle damage, I'm actually okay with. And yeah, the monitor is working again. You can see that. You actually have like the outline of the tank. It's hard to sort of make out in the video. I'll come in here as close as I can. There's some really fine detail here, and you see how there's different intensities. And when the tank blows up, there's wreckage, and the wreckage, you know, the turret can still shoot for a little bit sometimes. The flicker is really only on the camera. It's pretty rock solid. So yeah, this is great. Like I said, I'm going to take this all apart, clean it. Some of these buttons are chewed up, and this one in particular, like it's like, I don't know. Doesn't want to come out sometimes. Let's see if I can push that back in. There we go. Yeah. So these buttons need work. I might actually end up replacing them if I can find a good match. But yeah, all in all, wow, great deal on a working Vector. And I transported it. Even the coin lights are working. So what a great deal. And there's that Morse code again, encouraging us to commit a felony. Oh yeah, there's actually some more of the side art missing here. But again, that's kind of fits the theme, right? A war-torn city. Kind of maybe, you know, some things never change, right? Even in 2023, we got stuff like this going on in the world. So anyway, I think that's going to do it for this episode of Overtime Arcade. I hope you enjoyed the Armor Attack pickup video. So I think I'll wrap that up. Please, you know, I love all the feedback, the likes, shares, comments, all the subscriptions. I appreciate all the support, everything you all do. You know, I've got the best viewers on YouTube, so thank you for everything and everything. So yeah, it's late. I got to jump on this call, so I'm going to wrap it up here. As always, I'm Charlie. Thanks for watching Overtime Arcade, and I'll see you next time.
Overtime!